Have you tried copying some important files on your device, but you got this kind of message instead? So you spend more time in trying to delete other files to free up some space, but then you realized you deleted some important ones, and then you ended up getting more frustrated and sad and annoyed, basically all bad feelings at once? No, just me? Well, if you don't want to have the same unfortunate experience, then you should probably start decluttering your digital space. I already mentioned this in my previous video, but I felt like this topic deserves its own spotlight. Decluttering your digital space is important for maintaining productivity and in reducing stress, especially as a student. So here are 7 steps to declutter your digital environment. Organize your files and folders. Now, this step is actually a no-brainer. It's the first and the most important step in decluttering your digital space, no matter what device. All you really have to do is to create folders and segregate your files accordingly. You should create a logical folder structure for each facet of your digital life. Create a separate folder for your work, school, projects, and for some of your personal files. Once you've done that, go to each one of those folders and make subfolders to further categorize your files. For example, I have this folder for my physics resources. Don't ask me how I got them, ask Luffy. If you open this, you'll see that I segregated it according to each physics subtopic. And if you open it again, you'll see that I have a folder for each book I have on that topic. And finally, if you click it again, you'll see the actual book and the solution manual for the book. By the way, don't just give your files and folders some random names with the thought that you'll eventually remember what they meant. Trust me, you won't. So it's best to give them descriptive and meaningful names for easier access in the future. If you don't know how to categorize a certain file, then just create a folder called To Be Reviewed. Review those files at the end and look at them one by one. Do you think you'll need those in the future? Do they spark joy? Do they have any relevance in your life? If not, then discard them all at once. If you have a file you want to keep but immediate access is not needed, you can put it in an archive folder just to have a cleaner workspace. Do all of these for each one of your devices. If you're using a Mac, make sure to utilize the tags. You don't have to tag each file. All you need to do is to tag the main folder. This makes things easier to locate. For your laptop, your end goal should be 0 files in your downloads folder and minimal files in your desktop. Only put the files that you are currently working on in your desktop. Clean up your email. I don't know how this happened, but I have a lot of email addresses. Well, honestly, on second thought, I may or may have not made them to binge watch my videos from each one of those accounts to get my desired watch time. But seriously, please watch this until the end, please. Okay, anyway, if you're the same as me, it's best if you select 1 or 2 email addresses to keep. You can even create a new one and just ban the others. If you do though, make sure you choose a good and sensible name. If you decided on keeping 2 of your existing email addresses, then the first thing you need to do is to patch them. Are you the kind of person who signs up to a random website, then accepts every condition without reading, and now you have countless emails and newsletters that you don't even read? Don't worry, bestie. No need to feel guilty because I'm honestly the same as you are. What you need to do is to unsubscribe from these newsletters and promotional emails that you no longer find useful, and then delete. These kinds of emails honestly take up so much space in the storage. You should also organize your inbox in a similar manner with your files. Create folders or labels for different types of emails. It's also good to utilize filters to automatically sort incoming emails. For emails that you've already dealt with, ask yourself whether you will still have to deal with them in the future or not. If it's the latter, discard them, and if you're unsure, archive them. Uninstall unused apps and softwares. Remember those apps you had a free trial on? Yeah, those. you should uninstall and delete them. Basically, just do the same thing to all those apps and softwares that you haven't been using or you know you won't be using in the future. For your essential softwares, make sure you update them to improve their performance. In my old laptop, I have some Adobe softwares that I also got from Luffy. I don't have a lot of storage in this laptop, so these are the main contributors of why it has become pretty slow. And since I won't use it anymore, I am now gonna say bye-bye to them. Go through your digital photos and videos. So, you like taking photos and videos as keepsakes. You're a sentimental person who documents every little thing. But do you really look back on them? Will you even remember their existence? Most likely not. Personally, I think these are the hardest things to declutter. This is so tough. Oh my god. As you can see, I have 14,915 photos and 4,639 videos, which is only possible because I subscribe to 2 terabytes of iCloud. As much as I like having it, I realized that I could definitely reduce the cost if I fix my attachment issues. First thing you need to do is a quick run through. Delete the obvious chunks. Delete duplicate or similar photos. Blurry photos, pictures of your previous lecture slides which you didn't even bother to look at after class, screenshots of some gossips, pictures of your ex, random videos, and so on. After that, go through everything again and choose your favorites. If you have an iPhone, just press the heart button, and for other phones, maybe you can just create a favorites album or folder and move them there. Then delete the rest. Finally, in your favorites album, ask yourself further if a photo or video deserves to be in your gallery forever and if it sparks joy. Now, you might feel sad after doing this. I really understand that, but sometimes, in order to move on, all you really have to do is let go. Unsubscribe paid subscriptions. If you're one of those people who got lured into getting the 1-month free trial of those apps and services, but then you forgot to cancel the subscription and now you're shocked to see your credit card bill, then bestie, it's time for you to go through your subscriptions. Cancel all unnecessary subscriptions and again, ponder if you really need to pay for a premium of something. For iPhones, if you go to your subscriptions, you can actually click on the cancel free trial button right away to avoid the automatic monthly renewal. You can still use the app anyway until the scheduled end date. Speaking of subscriptions, if you have gone this far in the video, then why have you not clicked the subscribe button yet? I'm watching you. Declutter social media. Honestly, just delete those social media apps, touch some grass, and live your life. Period. Nah, I'm just kidding. In this digital age, it's almost impossible to really get rid of social media. However, it is still important to declutter it to reduce digital overwhelm. What you can do is to unfollow accounts that doesn't align with your interests or values. This could include old acquaintances, irrelevant pages, or accounts that post contents that make you feel negative or anxious. If it's too much trouble for you to individually go through your following list, then just make a new account. For me, I have 3 different kinds of accounts. I have a personal, a stan, and a Studygram account. I realized that having one account following all sorts of different contents and niches is pretty overwhelming. These days, I lurk more into my Studygram account and just occasionally visits the other 2. I also recommend turning off notifications for non-essential apps. This can help you regain control over your attention and reduce the constant urge to check your phone. Also, segregate your saved posts or collections. There was a time when I was looking for a certain recipe that I saved, but I couldn't find it because my saved posts are all over the place. Lastly is to schedule your cleanup sessions. Decluttering isn't a one-time task. We get to deal with various media and files every day, so it is important to audit this regularly. Set a schedule to review and organize your digital space. Make it a routine. Do it weekly or monthly or whenever, as long as you stick to it. All these steps may seem too much and require so much effort initially, but trust me, the long-term benefits to your productivity and well-being can be significant. That's it for this video. I hope you all find these steps helpful, and as always, thank you so much for watching and see you on my next one. Bye bye!